Hello, kindergartners and parents. So as you know that this is the start of our first webquest, which we're going to be doing it over 2D and 3D shapes, which we have been talking about during our math time. So parents, there are some challenging words which students might need help reading. If not, that's great, but they might need help reading these words. And kindergartners, be sure to let your parents help you if you don't understand anything. So basically, we're going to start off with the introduction page. And this just says hello. We're learning about 2D and 3D shapes, and we're going to be exploring them more on our computers. Down here, parents, we have the standard, which is just what we're covering by learning about 2D and 3D shapes. So secondly, we're going to go to the task page, and this ultimately gives what we're trying to get out of it. So basically, we're going to be choosing two different shapes. One shape needs to be 2D. Kindergartners, as you remember, we have read and learned all about triangles, circles, squares, and some of the characteristics. For example, a square has one side, two side, three side, and four sides. And a triangle has three, one, two, three. So that's important to remember as you go through this webquest as well. So, and one shape needs to be 3D. So like I said, you need two, one 2D and one 3D. And you need to know that these are flat surfaces for 2D and they're not for 3D. And if you have any questions, you may contact me through email or look at the worksheet for further information. So now that we know that we're picking two shapes, we're going to go through this virtual journey. And we're going to watch some videos on 2D and 3D shapes, play some games involving those shapes, and then you're going to take these shapes, create a short song or poem, and we're going to record it on iMovie on our iPads. So next we're going to go to the process page. And the process page goes through each step of our webquest. So the first step is that we're going to watch both the videos on 2D and 3D shapes. So this is the first video, which is over 2D shapes, and you can watch it on here, or you can click up here and watch it in YouTube. You can put it on your full screen if you want to as well. So then watch the second one about 3D shapes, and it should talk about the characteristics of 2D and 3D shapes, and it'll go through, the first one goes through each 2D shape and things like that. So our step 2 is to choose some games over 2D and 3D shapes to play. I have listed 3 different ones, and then additionally I have more shape games at pbskids.org. Kindergartners, if you have time and you're willing to play more games, the games will be really beneficial when helping you determine what you want to write about in your short poem or song. But if you don't have time, just play at least 2 or 3. So for step 3, we're going to create the short song or poem. So remember, like I said, we're going to include both 2D and 3D shapes. We're going to discuss the differences between 2D and 3D shapes. As I said earlier, 2D shapes are flat surfaces, 3D are not. Again, the worksheet and some of the videos and games should help you understand more about the differences between 2D and 3D shapes. And then you're going to discuss the characteristics of the 2D and 3D shapes that you've chosen. For example, if you've chosen a square, you need to talk about how many sides a square has in your short song or poem. So for step 4, you're going to record your short song or poem using iMovie on our iPads, which we have done before, but parents, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to email me or call me during hours. So then parents, we have the evaluation page, which is mostly for you to see what the kindergartners need to have done through this webquest, which ultimately I'm only grading on the fact that they have included in their short story or poem, short song or poem, I'm sorry, these characteristics. So basically, you want students to address 2 shapes, one 2D and one 3D, as I've said before. Their choice. And then they need to talk about the characteristics of both shapes they chose and distinguish between both types of shapes. So the differences between 2D and 3D, just briefly, not too long. And then the use of audio basically is just if I cannot hear the student or if I can hear the student clearly, that will be a pretty good judgment. And I do want a hard copy as well. for the conclusion, basically just says congrats, kindergartners. We finished them, and now that we've learned about these shapes, we're going to share with our classmates the short songs or poems that we've created. So have fun and enjoy your web quest. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Thank you.